Introduction: the ambitious crossover of the century. In 1986, Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons redefined the comic book medium with Watchmen, a groundbreaking series that deconstructed the superhero genre and explored the darker side of human nature. Fast forward to 2017, and Geoff Johns and Gary Frank dared to ask, what happens when the world of Watchmen collides with the DC universe? The result was Doomsday Clock, a 12-issue series that promised to be the most ambitious crossover in comic book history. But was it a masterpiece, or did it bite off more than it could chew? In this video essay, we'll explore the plot, themes, impact, and fan reception of Doomsday Clock, and examine its place in the pantheon of comic book storytelling. Hey guys, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this video, please support me by clicking the like button and subscribing to my channel. It really helps a lot in growing this small channel, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, let's get back to the video. Part 1: The plot of Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock begins with a simple but audacious premise. The Watchmen characters, Rorschach, Ozymandias, and Dr. Manhattan, enter the DC universe. But this isn't just a random crossover. The story is set in motion by Dr. Manhattan, who, after the events of Watchmen, has been experimenting with time and reality. His actions have ripple effects across the multiverse, destabilizing the DC universe and leading to the events of DC Rebirth. Geoff Johns uses this setup to explore big ideas: the nature of hope, the role of superheroes in society, and the power of storytelling itself. At its core, Doomsday Clock is about two conflicting ideologies: the cynicism of Watchmen and the optimism of the DC universe. And standing at the center of this clash is Superman, the ultimate symbol of hope. The series kicks off with a bang. A new Rorschach, Reggie Long, is introduced, and he's on a mission to uncover the truth about Dr. Manhattan's involvement in the DC universe. Meanwhile, Ozymandias is up to his old tricks, manipulating events from behind the scenes. The story takes us across the globe, and across dimensions, as the Watchmen characters interact with DC's iconic heroes, including Batman, Wonder Woman, and, of course, Superman. One of the most compelling aspects of the plot is how it ties into DC Rebirth. For those unfamiliar, Rebirth was DC's initiative to restore hope and legacy to the DC universe after the controversial New 52 era. Doomsday Clock reveals that Dr. Manhattan was behind the events of Rebirth, manipulating time to test the DC universe. It's a bold move, but it works because it ties the story back to the core themes of hope and legacy. The series builds to a climactic confrontation between Superman and Dr. Manhattan in issue number 11. This isn't just a physical battle, it's a clash of ideologies. Superman, the embodiment of hope, argues that even in the face of overwhelming odds, hope is worth fighting for. Dr. Manhattan, the detached, godlike figure from Watchmen, begins to question his own cynicism. The final issue, number 12, delivers a powerful message about the power of storytelling and the enduring legacy of superheroes. Part 2: Themes and Analysis. At its core, Doomsday Clock is a story about hope, specifically, the tension between hope and cynicism. This theme is embodied in the two central figures of the series, Superman and Dr. Manhattan. Superman, the quintessential symbol of hope in the DC universe, represents the idea that one person can make a difference, no matter how dark the world seems. Dr. Manhattan, on the other hand, is a product of the Watchmen universe, a world where heroes are flawed, morally ambiguous, and often powerless to change the course of history. The series begins with Dr. Manhattan's experiments on the DC universe. After the events of Watchmen, he becomes disillusioned with humanity and retreats to a distant planet, where he begins manipulating time and reality. His actions destabilize the DC universe, leading to the events of DC Rebirth. But as the story progresses, Dr. Manhattan begins to question his own cynicism. Through his interactions with Superman, he starts to see the value of hope and the power of individual agency. One of the most powerful moments in the series comes in issue number 11, when Superman confronts Dr. Manhattan. It's not a physical battle but a philosophical one. Superman argues that even in the face of overwhelming odds, hope is worth fighting for. He tells Dr. Manhattan, "You can't just give up on people. You can't just decide the world's too broken to fix." This moment encapsulates the central theme of Doomsday Clock, the idea that hope is not naive or foolish but a necessary force for change. The series also explores this theme through its supporting characters. The new Rorschach, Reggie Long, is a man haunted by the legacy of the original Rorschach. He's cynical and distrustful, but over the course of the story, he begins to find meaning in his struggle. Similarly, Ozymandias, the self-proclaimed smartest man in the world, is forced to confront the limitations of his own intellect. In the end, even he acknowledges the power of hope, admitting that he underestimated the resilience of the human spirit. By juxtaposing the cynicism of Watchmen with the optimism of the DC Universe, Doomsday Clock asks a profound question: can hope truly overcome despair? The answer, according to Geoff Johns, is yes, but not without effort, sacrifice, and a willingness to believe in something greater than oneself. Part 3: Art and Craftsmanship. Of course, we can't talk about Doomsday Clock without talking about the art. Gary Frank's work here is nothing short of breathtaking. Every panel is meticulously detailed, from the hauntingly beautiful renditions of Dr. Manhattan to the iconic imagery of Superman. Frank's art captures the tone of the story perfectly. It's dark and gritty when it needs to be, but it also shines with moments of hope and heroism. One of the standout aspects of Frank's art is his ability to convey emotion. The close-ups of characters' faces are incredibly expressive, allowing the reader to feel the weight of their struggles. This is particularly evident in the scenes with Superman, where Frank's art captures the character's humanity and determination. Similarly, the scenes with Dr. Manhattan are visually stunning, with Frank using light and shadow to emphasize the character's otherworldly nature. The colors by Brad Anderson also deserve special mention. Anderson's use of color is masterful, with the cold, blue tones of Watchmen contrasting sharply with the vibrant colors of the DC Universe. This visual contrast serves as a metaphor for the story's themes, highlighting the clash between cynicism and hope. Geoff Johns' writing is equally impressive. Known for his deep knowledge of DC lore, Johns weaves together decades of continuity into a cohesive narrative. His dialogue is sharp and impactful, particularly in the scenes between Superman and Dr. Manhattan. However, some critics have argued that the story tries to do too much, juggling multiple plot lines and themes at once. While Johns mostly pulls it off, there are moments where the pacing feels uneven, particularly in the middle issues. Part 4: Impact on the DC Universe. Doomsday Clock had a significant impact on the DC Universe, both in terms of its narrative and its themes. The series revealed that Dr. Manhattan was behind the events of DC Rebirth, reshaping the timeline and restoring hope to the DC Universe. This revelation had far-reaching consequences, influencing subsequent storylines and characters. One of the most notable impacts was on Superman. Doomsday Clock reaffirmed Superman's role as the moral center of the DC Universe, emphasizing his importance as a symbol of hope. This theme was carried forward in other DC titles, such as Action Comics and Superman, where the character's optimism and resilience were highlighted. The series also had a lasting impact on the Watchmen characters. While some fans were skeptical about bringing these characters into the DC Universe, Doomsday Clock managed to honor their legacy while telling a new story. The new Rorschach, Reggie Long, became a fan-favorite character, and his journey added depth to the original Rorschach's legacy. In addition to its narrative impact, Doomsday Clock also influenced the tone and direction of DC Comics. The series' emphasis on hope and legacy set the stage for future storylines such as Dark Knights, Death Metal and Infinite Frontier. It also inspired a renewed focus on character-driven storytelling, with writers and artists exploring the emotional and psychological depth of DC's iconic heroes. Part 5: Fan Reception and Criticisms. The reception to Doomsday Clock was mixed, with fans and critics divided over its ambitious scope and execution. On one hand, many praised the series for its bold storytelling, stunning artwork, and thematic depth. The confrontation between Superman and Dr. Manhattan was particularly well received, with fans hailing it as one of the most powerful moments in recent comic book history. However, the series also faced criticism. Some fans felt that the pacing was uneven, particularly in the middle issues, where the story seemed to lose momentum. Others were skeptical about the use of the Watchmen characters, arguing that it betrayed the spirit of Alan Moore's original work. There were also concerns about the series' reliance on DC lore, which made it less accessible to casual readers. Despite these criticisms, Doomsday Clock has developed a dedicated fanbase over the years. Many fans appreciate the series for its ambition and its willingness to tackle big ideas. It's a story that rewards multiple readings, with each revisit revealing new layers of meaning and nuance. Conclusion: the legacy of Doomsday Clock. In the end, Doomsday Clock is a bold, ambitious, and ultimately rewarding series. It's a story about hope, legacy, and the power of storytelling, and it dares to ask big questions about the nature of heroism and the human spirit. While it may not be perfect, it's a testament to the enduring power of comics as a medium for exploring complex ideas and emotions. So, what do you think of Doomsday Clock? Do you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in between? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world of comics. Until next time, keep reading, and remember, no matter how dark things get, there's always a little bit of hope. See you in the next one.